Our rules are simple, but the challenge is great. All dinos will be explored in this challenge, but only reasonable underdogs voted on by the community will be considered for grading. Equipped with official server cap saddles, our 19 contenders will be backed by the commanding presence of a loyal Uranus providing that extra boost. All competitors will go into battle with food to provide a healing effect. Herbivores will have plenty of sweet veggie cakes, and carnivores and omnivores will have cooked meat. It's important to note that tames in this series aren't typically used during boss battles because of the amount of mutations you need to make them competitive. But all dinos competing will have around 23,000 health and 1200% melee. This will give them all a fair shot at defeating at least one of the guardians. It won't always be feasible to reach these stats depending on the dinos I'm using, but I'll let you know the amount of mutations and levels it took in order to reach it. All competitors start out with 50 base health and melee and 40 points in everything else before I apply mutations and experience levels. You can decide on your own servers if the juice is worth the squeeze. Competitors are required to fight the Megapithecus, Broodmother, then Dragon on all difficulties, starting with Gamma, then Beta, finishing with Alpha. Their success will be annotated on this scorecard with a pass or fail system. Clearing all the bosses earns them a gold boom medal. Silver is awarded for clearing Beta, bronze is for clearing Gamma, and the chunk of shit is for an unworthy performance. Once all expansion creatures are finished, the gold medal winners will test their strength against the Overseer for the finale. Now let's introduce our competitor and see if they have what it takes. Mantis. This intimidating looking insect packs a punch with its leap attack and can hold tools and even weapons. This is a very versatile tame for farming and even knocking out creatures when you equip them with clubs. The stats required for this competition will reach with a ridiculous 110 mutations and 84 experience levels. 55 mutations and 44 levels went into health, and 55 mutations and 40 levels went into melee. Now let's go over the damage they're going to deal. This is the Mantis with no weapons. This is with a 298% damage pike. This is a 298% damage sword. And this is a primitive sword with 100% damage. And just because I was curious, this is 50 base health and 50 base melee with a 298% sword. As you can see, it does a lot of damage still. The green portal is up and you can do with that information what you will. Just remember, those swords are not cheap to craft and you will need to repair them after every fight. Watch how quickly they shred the Gamma Megapithecus. Crazy, right? You might notice a problem that I'll point out later. But even though the Mantis can dish out an insane amount of damage with the swords, these mutations are not feasible and the resources required are downright insane. The Super Mantis are clearly able to dish out a monumental ass whooping, and they earned their first pass. The Gamma Broodmother is up next, and in case you're wondering, we're using the 298% swords. The Mantis is a carnivore and their drag weight is lower than Commander Utes, so they're not going to draw aggro from any of the bosses. I'm a little rusty with this because it's been a while since I've actually had to do this tactic, but the plan is essentially to send in the creatures and hopefully they block the boss long enough to kill them before the boss breaks through and destroys you. The Gamma bosses can be tanked easily enough, and I clearly forgot this. In the end, the Mega Mantis come out on top and earn another pass. The Gamma Dragon fight demonstrates the biggest problem with the Mantis. Did you notice it during the Broodmother fight? When you whistle the Mantis to attack, or if they get attacked, or are set to a behavior status that permits them to retaliate, or even if you have to set them to aggressive and they attack something, the outcome is the same. Half the group always runs away. I couldn't figure out why, but every fight at least half the Mantis would scatter all over the arena, and they would never engage with the boss until some of the ones fighting would die off. It's quite a frustrating affair, and I know the Mantis are performing well still, and it's kind of impressive they can do this with half the number of creatures, but it's pretty frustrating, and I honestly just wouldn't recommend using them for any fights, even though they completely destroy the Gamma bosses, clearing the stage and earning their pass. Blue portal time means beta time, and the Beta Megapithecus was up next. You might start noticing it during this fight, but I forgot all about repairing the swords, and during some of these later stage fights you're going to see a Mantis or two with no weapons. Don't worry, it didn't affect the outcome, and I eventually paid attention enough to repair them. The Beta Megapithecus fight was actually pretty interesting, and Commander Utes took quite the pounding. I honestly thought I was going to lose him. Fortunately, he persevered, and the Undermantis put the big ape down and earned another easy pass. The Beta Broodmother is up next, and I sent the Mantis in immediately with the hope that they're going to block the Broodmother. This is basically a test to see if they have a hitbox big enough to keep her at bay. In all seriousness, when using smaller creatures, the Alpha Broodmother is the most difficult boss. When you're using carnivores with a small drag weight, it's important to test this out when doing the Beta Broodmother fight, assuming you're doing them in order. The Beta Broodmother can tear through your ranks quickly, especially the Uranus, so the Alpha Broodmother can do that 10 times faster. It's important to block her and it's going to be an easy fight when it comes time for Alpha if you can do it. I unfortunately didn't have a good shake at it during this one, but I did notice a few times that she doesn't walk over the Mantis, so this is a good sign for what's to come. In the end, the Beta Broodmother didn't have what it takes, and the Under Mantis put her ass into the dirt, earning another pass. The Beta Dragon is up next, and I had some concerns coming into it. With the Mantis scattering every which way, it opens him up to get hit with the fire breath a lot easier. When Commander Utes takes the aggro, I like to absorb a few shots of fire with him before my army needs to get hit with it so that I can prolong the fight. Chicken shit Mantis that run all over the place make for a bad recipe when fighting a fire-breathing dragon around a river of lava. To make matters worse, I reach a point in this fight where the Mantis can't hit the dragon, and it actually goes for a while, a whole entire session before he takes off again, before they're able to hit him. And Commander Utes does his signature move where he burns to death, and I have to hop over on Mantis' back to help finish the job. Fortunately, we're located on a spot in the arena where the Mantis Mafia is able to land their shots. They dish out a final barrage of pain and put the Beta Dragon down, earning another pass, clearing the Beta stage. Red portal time means Alpha time, and the Alpha Megapithecus is up next. The Alpha Monkey and his squad don't typically worry me, but believe it or not, I had to do this fight a few times. Why, you may ask? Well, half the Mantis ran away and got knocked into the pit the first fight, and eventually everyone just got slaughtered. He may be the easiest boss, but you have to be prepared for the Arc Gods to rain on your parade at any moment. During this fight though, the Mantis are able to perform just fine. You know, sans the chicken shit Mantis that run away. Seriously, if there's some mechanic I'm missing that causes this, let me know. It wasn't like all the females or all the males, it was kind of a mixture of both. I noticed it happened with past creatures, but only one or two would run. It's never been this bad. Fortunately, the Mantis are able to pull it off this time around, earning another pass. Well, she's still acting like she doesn't know who I am, so I came into this fight with vengeance burning in my soul. I was gonna make this big booty bitch remember me. I sent the Maniac Mantis in to block her path to me, and wouldn't you believe it? It worked. Completely. All she could do was watch as I pinched my nipples and she got slaughtered by the Under Mantis army. It was the perfect shot back at her stone-cold reaction to my return during the last episode. I locked eyes with her and I never looked away. I slowly watched the worry build up on her face as she realized she wasn't going to get close to this juicy booty today. I was in control for a change. Victory would be mine, and the Under Mantis earn another pass. The Alpha Dragon is up next, and surprisingly, the first landing goes in our favor, and the Under Mantis are able to get the Alpha Dragon down to less than 50% health before he takes off. I did have a bunch of Mantis scattered during this fight, and unfortunately, Commander Utes had to be abandoned so that I could dish out some damage with the Mantis. They were struggling to land hits after the second landing, and watching Commander Utes burn to death again gave me bloodlust. So me and the Mantis squad chopped the dragon's ankles into a pulp and put his ass into the dirt, earning a pass. Heading over to the scoreboard, the Mantis earn a gold boom medal for clearing all the bosses. I have more coming up for you in the near future as we still have the Morella Tops and the new Ceratosaurus to explore. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to help this community grow. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, hit me up in the comments or hop in Discord, shoot me a message if you have any feedback or want to chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.